Hi, my name's Tim Woodman from Management Learning Coaching, and this is the latest in the line of tips that we've been producing. This tip is all about managing projects. So whether you're a manager of projects or whether project management is something that somebody's put into your job description as part of, on top of your day job, here's some really succinct and short tips that will help you to manage your projects a lot better. So, what is project management? What is it all about? So let's break it down into two elements. The first element is, how do I get control of what's going on? And I need control to be able to make and take decisions that will affect what's going on at the end, the output. So here you'll see a graphic that shows time, cost, and quality. So that triangulation, time and cost and quality, the three things interact with each other. And I have to make judgments as a project manager that will have an effect on each of those. So if I'm trying to hit a deadline, for instance, then maybe I've got to spend a bit more money, maybe reduce the quality to hit that time deadline. Vice versa, maybe the deadline isn't so important, but maybe hitting the budget is. Maybe hitting the right quality is really important. But as a project manager, that's the thing that I've got to control. Most project managers make the mistake of letting things go until it's too late. In other words, when the deadline is hitting me in the face, and I've now got to do loads and loads of things to actually bring this project in on time, on cost, and on quality. The really good project managers are making decisions really early. So they're gathering the information, they're looking at that information, and then making decisions as they move forward. Okay, so that's what my job is as a project manager, is to have the information today to make a decision that has an effect on the time, cost, quality output at the end of the project. So how do we do that? Well, let's start with a very simple process. There are lots of processes out there. Some of you might have heard of Scrum or Agile or Prince2. They all pretty much do the same sort of thing. They put a process in place that says, this is how this project is going to work. The reason for having a process is because people are doing this for the first time, typically. They perhaps haven't done this project before. It's unique, and therefore they're finding the way to do things as they move through the project. My job as a project manager is to try and preempt what that is, and then to manage that process and to use the process, the sequence of events, so that I'm able to predict today what's likely to happen if I leave it alone, or I do something, or I don't do something. So here's the process that's nice and simple. It actually is three questions in the first part. In the getting ready for setting this project up and going and starting it, you'll see the three questions are: why am I doing it? What am I supposed to be doing? And how am I going to do it? And then the do it, and then the close it out. So let's keep it nice and simple. Why do I want to know why I'm doing something? Well, it gives me context for my decision making. If some of the things that are happening around me, I may have to make a decision or not, as the case may be, then what may happen is I make a wrong decision because I don't understand why I'm doing something. Also, in those really difficult situations where perhaps the project is overrunning, I may have to stop the project because of my understanding of why I'm doing it in the first place. So the second section then is understanding why. That's typically the department of the project sponsors in deciding why they're doing something. The what then is down to you. Now the what could be a really thick document that actually says, here's the specification, this is what I'm expecting you to do. Or it could be, hey, I've had a really great idea, can you do this for me? In both of those circumstances, don't panic. If you've got a great big document, all that means is people have put quite a lot of thinking into it, but they perhaps haven't worked out how it's going to work. On the other hand, if you get a one-liner, it generally means that the project sponsors haven't thought it through for themselves, and they've said, well, you know what to do, off you go. And you've gone, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing here, but I better just go off and do it. So one of the things that we need to consider in these circumstances, if I've got lots of specification, is I need to plan what needs to be done and then go back to the sponsor saying, this is how long it's going to take, this is what it's going to look like. With the one-line specification, you're going to have to expect that there will be lots of changes as we go down the line. So you need to build in time for those changes. But don't panic, whether it's one line or a great big thick document or somewhere in between, you can get going, okay? But recognize that there will always be some changes as you move down the track. Here's a thought for you. The project that we start out with will always be different when we deliver it because people will change their mind. Our job is to manage that process of change. The third section is how am I going to do it? This is where we put the planning tools in place. We map out what are the sequence of events that we have to produce here. This is what we're going to do. This is when we're going to do it. This is what different jobs are dependent on others. And through that process of planning, which I'm afraid we don't have time to cover today, we will be able to work out what the deadline is and what's on the critical path, something which I will talk about perhaps at another day. And then getting things done and closing things, that's all about the management and managing the process, which I'll talk about very, very briefly. So we've got a process that we're following. We'll use that process to decide and make decisions as we go along. So I'm now going to share with you 4 key things that the really good project managers use to get on top of their projects. The first thing is they make sure that they talk to their clients on a regular basis. The guy who says, I've got this project for you, it's a one-liner, I will talk a lot to that individual. I want to find out what they've already thought about. I want to make sure that what I'm going to be delivering is the right thing. So lots of communication between myself and my clients, whoever they may be. It may be the sponsor, they may be the people actually using whatever it is that I'm delivering. Lots of conversations there so that when I come to deliver the project, I'm actually delivering something that they want. So lots of conversations. I notice with lots of project managers, their natural instinct is not to talk to the client. So that's something that you can get a lot better at. The second thing that you can get better at is make sure that people know what they're supposed to be doing today. It's true to say that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first steps. So make sure that the first steps are in detail, that people know what they're supposed to be doing, because the project will change as you move along. Make sure that every single day people know what they're supposed to be doing that day. That's a really critical thing to make sure that happens. The third thing that I want you to concentrate on is what are the risks to the project? Can I forecast what's coming at me? And then can I deal with them? Again, for another time, we have a way of looking at those risks. But if you've got your head up and you're looking down the track, you're looking at what's going on, you can see what's coming at you, that will give you the heads up to be able to manage it if in fact it happens. And then the fourth and final tip I'm going to give you about what the really great project managers do is all about control. Monitor everything. And here's a good management saying which I hope will resonate with you. You won't get what you expect, but you will get what you inspect. And then lastly, be careful what you inspect. So those are 4 key things for the better project managers that will help you to become a better project manager. I hope these tips will give you a little bit more insight onto how to set up and manage a project. So thanks very much for listening. That's the end of this particular tip session on managing projects. Please make sure that you interact with us on our social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and of course we have our own website, and please interact with us there. Please also make sure, if you like what I've just shared with you, hit the like button or comment or share this with your fellow connections on LinkedIn or wherever else you've got connections. And then finally, we're also interested in what you'd also like to see next, and so please vote on one of the 3 tips subjects that we've got, and you'll find those just below us here. So thanks very much. My name's Tim Woodman, and hope to see you soon.